Jax Briggs has made himself known since his introduction in Mortal Kombat 2. Although at first he does come off as nothing more than Sonya's shirtless commanding officer, there is more to his character than that. So in this video, we'll look into Jax Briggs and learn more about him. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin. Who is Jax in Mortal Kombat? Now that is a good question. Major Jax Briggs is the titular cybernetically enhanced soldier in the game series, but his beginnings were quite humble. He made his first debut in Mortal Kombat 2, where he acted as Sonya Blade's direct superior. He is often considered to be the catalyst for Sonya's impulsive nature, which we often see throughout the series. As a major, Jax is extremely clear-headed and has a certain aura of calmness about him that might often fool people into thinking he cannot be dangerous when in battle, and Jax definitely finds pleasure in proving them wrong. Jax is extremely ferocious when he is in action. Jax is a very good team leader. Whenever he is on screen, we see him take care of his men and keep an eye out for them. Not only that, when he gets his hands on advanced technology, he uses it to not only make himself better, but also use the technology to improve his team members. Currently, in the timeline that we're following, Jax has perished in the hands of Sindel after doing his duty for years. Although he was resurrected after this, he was brought back to life by Quan Chi, who forced him to serve as a revenant. This experience completely broke him apart, and even after Jax was freed, the experiences that he had as a revenant haunted him. The fact that the hero who had disfigured crime lord Kano was now turned into a broken shell of a person was heart-wrenching to see. However, things looked up when he met his wife, Vera. However, that happiness did not last long, because in Mortal Kombat 11, we learned that Vera had passed away, and that had broken Jax even more. This vulnerable state that Jax was in made it easier for Kronika to recruit him with a promise of resetting the timeline. However, Jax finally came back to his senses thanks to Raiden and returned to the good guys, the place where he belongs. Stories of his bionic arm. Why does everyone want to break his arm? When Jax was first introduced, he was just this shirtless muscle man who was the CEO of Sonya. Well, that made him an eye candy for many. It was in Mortal Kombat 3 where Jax truly captured everyone's eyes. It was because of the new upgraded bionic arms that he had. Now, because he got this upgrade, there must be a reason behind it, right? Originally, the story was that Jax had gotten these upgrades to protect the Earth realm from Shao Kahn. However, in Mortal Kombat Special Forces, this backstory got completely scratched and redone. In this, we learned that Jax had been experimenting with prototypes himself because he wanted to knock out Kano's teeth. While that is violent, it was still an okay backstory for his bionic arms. In the movies of Mortal Kombat where we do see Jax, the bionic arms were explained as simple add-ons, and in the story arc for Jax, each time he chose to focus more on his inner strength and not on the bionic arms by the end of the movies. In the movie, we see Jax forced to remove these bionic add-ons simply out of peer pressure, but that does give us the iconic scene of Jax Briggs beating the hell out of Motaro with his bare hands. Comes to the Malibu comics, Jax ends up getting these bionic upgrades because he was running away with Baraka, who is his ally for some reason. Baraka loses control and gives into his bloodlust, which leads him to ripping Jax's arms apart. That is when Sonya suggested some mechanical supports for the arms that were slashed up really badly. This became a canon for the Special Forces crew in the comics, so that was a nice addition. But we do not end here. As we know, Mortal Kombat 9 is a sequel and a reboot both together, as Raiden sends a message to his past self, and we get a retelling of the past 3 games again. In this game, we see that Jax comes across Ermac, who is a mystical telepathic ninja made up of 1,000 warriors' souls. But Jax did not know that, and when he charged at Ermac blew Jax's arms with his mind powers. That led to Sonya taking Jax back to Earthrealm, and this is how Jax got his enhancements this time around. Now, in the popular TV series Mortal Kombat Legacy, where Jax is a police officer, we see him lose his arms due to a heroic sacrifice. Jax and Sonya were catching Kano and his men when one of them threw a grenade. Jax used his whole body as a human shield to protect his team, destroying his arms in the process. That is when the Department of Defense came in clutch with the bionic add-ons. But one of the most gruesome backstories for his arms was in the Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's retelling. This movie particularly focuses on the first game, but from Scorpion's point of view. In this story, Shang Tsung decided to entertain people before the tournament started by showing off Goro. Jax, who was captured while he was out on the hunt for Kano, is forced to be Goro's opponent. The four-armed giant literally treated Jax like a ragdoll. His cruelty knew no bounds, and at one point we were forced to watch Goro literally tear off Jax's limbs. The whole freak show stopped only when Raiden stepped in, but yeah, with this gruesome backstory, Jax got his bionic arms. So I guess there is a win, huh?
Zero. Your Jax wins. Flawless victory.
How can Jax Briggs generate earthquakes with a single punch? Now, as we know, Jax did not always have his bionic arms. The bionic arms came into the picture in Mortal Kombat 3, but even before they came into the picture, Jax was a powerhouse. Jax is a military personnel, and it is clear that he has gone through rigorous training. It is very prominent from the way his physique looks. With huge biceps, triceps, and lats to name a few, honestly, Jax Briggs has the upper body of a Greek god. Most fans would theorize that this is the reason why his punches do indeed pack a punch. Jax is a very skilled combatant when it comes to hand-to-hand combat, and we see how brutish this force can be when he is in a physical fight. I mean, come on. He permanently dislodged Kano's eye. That is not a feat that can be achieved by just anyone. Due to his massive power that he stores in his upper body, Jax is able to crush a human skull with his bare hands. So understandably, what is a little bit of an earthquake for him? The seismograph definitely comes alive when Jax is around, thanks to his ground-shaking powerful punches. Jax Briggs' methods for amplifying his bionic arms' power. In Mortal Kombat 3, we get to see Jax with bionic arms for the first time. Over the years and over several media adaptations, the writers have taken creative liberties to change the backstory for these arms, but the arms became a staple of Jax's character design. The bionic arms at first looked pretty simple. They looked like metal plating on the arm that gave him protection. But over the series, that too changed. The design of the bionic arms changed, and so did their purpose. From Mortal Kombat 3 onwards, we see that with each game there is some sort of enhancement on the bionic arms, whether it is rockets that propel the punch forward or energy enhancers that make him deliver more damage with each punch. The enhancements that he had were extremely cool. At one point, his bionic arms even came with portable missiles and nanokinetic metal morphation, making this already sick add-on more awesome. We even get to see Jax have a rocket-propelled punch and a plasma discharge shell. This discharge could be done by him on individual hands or on both fists together, making the damage distinctly more. But as we know, Jax is not just a muscle man, he is also a scientist. So more often than not, we see Jax do his best to incorporate any type of new weaponry that he could find that would remotely complement his already enhanced cybernetic arms. We have seen him incorporate several weapons such as RPGs, submachine guns, grenade launchers, and even rocket launchers. Specifically in Mortal Kombat 11, we see Jax do something we have never seen him do before. In the game, he heats up his bionic arms before he delivers a punch. These hot fists increase the damage that he has already causing, and on top of that, gave Jax the ability to shoot projectiles through his fists, making his fights even cooler than they already were. The altered origin of Jax's agent in Mortal Kombat 1. Mortal Kombat 1, which was released in early September this year, had a lot of fans super excited. This game definitely changed up the backstories of several characters. While in this game, Jax is not one of the playable characters, he does show up as a side character. Here he is an FBI agent and he does not have his bionic arms yet. The character design, however, is iconic. Even without his bionic arms and with his scenes, Jax has fans excited about his story arc. Specifically in the climax of Mortal Kombat 1, we see several time variants of Jax show up, one of which is the FBI agent that we speak of, and it is, needless to say, an amazing touch by the game developers. As fans, we are definitely excited to see how Jax would end up with his arms in this altered origin story. How Jax can travel to Outworld. When it comes to Jax, he is a man of many talents. Along with brute upper body strength and the ability to shake the earth with his punches, he also has the talent of traveling to Outworld. As you know, traveling to Outworld is not easy, but Jax has traveled through the rough terrains of Outworld and has had his adventures because every time he sees the portal, he simply walks straight into it. In Mortal Kombat Special Forces, we follow Jax as he is infiltrating a warehouse. He comes across No-Face and he dispatches him with ease. Once that is done, Jax moves forward. He has one goal, which is to find his enemy. While traveling through the sewers, he comes across Tasha, and Tasha too is defeated with ease. But before he can move forward, Jax gets the news that the Black Dragon is using a corporate building as their front from Gemini. With that news, Jax soon locates the building in question. Over there, his investigations lead him to Jarek, who, when defeated by Jax, tells him crucial information. With that information, you guessed it, Jax shows up at another location, aka the lost city of Xinjiang, where he has to fight Tremor. Turns out out Tremor was guarding something. What was it that Tremor was guarding? The portal to Outworld, of course. Now Jax knows that Kano is planning on world domination, and putting 2 and 2 together, Jax decides that this portal is directly linked to the world domination plans. And without a moment of hesitation, Jax travels to the portal and ends up in Outworld. That is where he finds Kano, who has acquired the ancient artifact called the Eye of Chitian. This is a very powerful artifact that led to the two fighting. Jax came out victorious, and with the help of the Eye, he brought both him and Kano back to Earthrealm. But this was not the only run-in he had with Outworld. In Mortal Kombat 2, Jax tries to make it up to Johnny for not believing him by showing up at the place where Johnny was shooting a commercial. Right in front of Jax, Cage gets attacked by Outworld forces. Now before coming here, Jax had received a video signal from Sonya, who was trying her best to escape the world with Kano. So knowing his friend was trapped in that world, Jax fought bravely against Shokan and Kentaro. However, the fight was cut short because the warriors of the Earth Realm soon joined him. After defeating the intruders, Jax traveled into Outworld in the hopes of finding Sonya himself. So clearly the man is not afraid to traverse through dangerous planes and fight strong enemies when he has a greater goal. Does his hands always want to rip someone's heart? Jax is extremely strong, but he is not necessarily brutal. In Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, he proved us all wrong. In this story arc, Jax had recruited the blind swordsman Kenshi as one of his teammates. Kenshi had one goal, and that was to eliminate Shang Tsung. Using Jax's portal station, Kenshi had gone into the Outworld to find Shang Tsung. While there, he was given a mission to locate another agent of Jax's who had gone missing. Surprisingly, this time around, it was not Sonya who was missing, it was Cyrax. His wristlet had malfunctioned and effectively made him stranded in Outworld. Now, while they were on this mission, the OIA agency building was bombed, and the culprit for this bombing was Su Hao. This man was a Red Dragon clansman following the orders of Mavado. Soon after the bombing, he escaped, and it was suspected that he may have gone into the Outworld. This was also the time when Raiden sought out all the Earthrealm warriors and asked them to take a stand against the Deadly Alliance. Seeing the opportunity presented itself on a silver platter, Jax took it and traveled into Outworld, where he eventually faced Su Hao. Their fight ends when Jax swiftly rips into Su Hao's chest and rips out the artificial heart that was keeping Su Hao alive. Does he have any love interest? Can he reproduce? Despite his rough and tough exterior, Jax is actually an incredibly sweet man who definitely deserves his happiness. So understandably, he and Sonya's close friend Vera getting together was seen as the best moment for them. Vera and Jax met when Jax was in recovery from being a revenant. The whole experience had taken a toll on him, and Vera played a crucial part in his recovery. Together, they made a happy family, and Jax soon becomes a father to a very spirited Jackie. Jax is overprotective about her like most fathers are, and Jackie got her father's spirits, which makes their dynamic an interesting thing to witness. How does he get resurrected? As we know, at one point Jax was killed off by Sindel. She broke his neck and stabbed him through the heart with her heels. But this was not a proper death for this hero. As soon as he was resurrected by Quan Chi resurrected him, and Jax's will was now a slave to Quan Chi. This made it easy for Quan Chi to use Jax as one of the soldiers sent to kill Raiden at NetherRealm. However, Jax was defeated and soon brought back, giving us our favorite Major back. Marvelous verdict. Jax Briggs is one of the most crucial characters in the Mortal Kombat roster. He is always shown as a cool-headed guy, and his passion for his friends is truly admirable. In the new Mortal Kombat 1, his character does get revamped quite a bit, but he is still the Jackson Briggs we know and love. So as fans, we are excited to see his new adventures in this game. If you like our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.